From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
We made it. It's Friday, and you're listening to For the People. I'm Keith Allen for this Friday, June the 9th, 2017. President Trump is at the Department of Transportation, and a different narrative today, talking about our crumbling infrastructure and how the bureaucrats are writing more rules, but allowing this infrastructure to suffer. I mean, Flint, Michigan, with the water. Have you heard about all the nastiness there of people getting sick and just contamination in the water, bridges failing, railroads? Here is Donald Trump talking at the Department of Transportation in Washington, D.C. as we speak.
Accountable. We're also creating a new office in the Council of Environmental Quality to root out inefficiency, clarify lines of authority, and streamline federal and state local procedures so that communities can modernize their aging infrastructure without fear of outdated federal rules getting in their way. This massive permit reform, and that's what it is, it's a permit reform, doesn't sound glamorous. They won't write stories about it. They won't even talk about it. But it's so important. But it's only the first step in renewing America's roads, rails, runways, and rivers. As I discussed in Ohio recently, my new vision for American infrastructure will generate $1 trillion in infrastructure investment, which we desperately need. We've spent, as of a few months ago, $6 trillion in the Middle East. Think of it. $6 trillion in the Middle East. And it's worse than it was 15 years ago by a factor of 10. And yet, if you want to build a little road in one of your communities in Pennsylvania or Ohio or in Iowa or North Carolina or in Florida, you can't get the money. State and local leaders will have more power to decide which projects get built, when they start, and how they are funded. And investors will have a much more predictable environment that encourages them to invest billions of dollars in capital that is currently stuck on the sidelines. Together, we will build projects to inspire our youth, employ our workers, and create true prosperity for our people. We will pour new concrete, lay new brick, and watch new sparks light our factories as we forge metal from the furnaces of our Rust Belt and our beloved heartland, which has been forgotten, but it's not forgotten anymore. We will put new American steel into the spine of our country. American workers will construct gleaming new lanes of commerce across our landscape. They will build these monuments from coast to coast and from city to city. And with these new roads, bridges, airports, and seaports, we will embark on a wonderful new journey into a bright and glorious future. We will build again. We will grow again. We will thrive again. And we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Wow. Majorly different from yesterday, as we saw the grilling with senators on both sides of the aisle talking about James Comey and what he did know, what he didn't know, and you think that he's some kind of superhero. It was very perplexing. Believe me, there was major ratings for the Comey. I saw it in bars. people lined up. They just could not get enough of this. I mean, this was real life action stuff because they were just hoping, praying, not everybody, but for those that hate Donald Trump, that there was going to be something there that was going to just take him down. Now, the lawyers for Trump, they pretty much shot down the ex-FBI director there, James Comey, as you saw yesterday, his claim that a tweet from the commander-in-chief prompted him to leak a stupid memo with a private conversation to a close friend and who brought it to the media because he didn't want to do it himself. And then he, remember, woke up in the middle of the night because it didn't dawn on me originally that there might be I mean, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is just the most retarded thing in the world. Here's the guy that's Donald Trump did a great job firing him. He wrote this stuff down because clearly he did not like Donald Trump. He says, I needed to get into the public square so I could ask a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter because I thought that it might prompt the appointment of a special counsel. This guy is a creep. Trump smelled a rat, and a good one. Kushner, by the way, will be brought in later this month to see what he knows or what he doesn't know, but NBC is reporting this as we speak. Jared Kushner, which is Donald Trump's son-in-law, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, his son-in-law is the senior advisor and is expected to meet with staff members of the Senate Intelligence Committee later on this month, and he'll provide documents and also be questioned by members of the committee who are also questioned former FBI Director James Comey, the same ones, the committee of one of several entities investigating whether the Trump campaign colluded with Russia. Kushner came under fire recently after he reportedly asked Russian officials if they were interested in setting up a back channel. Well, of course, NBC likes to push that narrative yet again. It was actually the Russians on note that actually made that comment, not Kushner. And this is stuff that was talked about with Barack Hussein Obama, with Bush, with Clinton. This is nothing new. If you don't know the protocol of Washington, what the conversation is, this is what governments do. They have a main communication source so they can have direct communication, and Washington provides that. But the leaks, oh, my Lord. They continue. I thought, now, people did not like necessarily, people were critical of Donald Trump. Napolitano was just a friend of Mr. Kasowitz, Donald Trump's attorney, who gave a press conference after the Comey hearing about what they're going to do, what Comey said, and what they're going to pursue. Did not think that it went far enough. I think it went perfectly far enough. I think that he showed his hand and pretty much said, hey, listen, buddy, we heard you. We heard what you said. And you kind of incriminated yourself. So this is not done, folks, by a long stretch here. This is going to continue. But here's what he said if you did not get a chance yesterday to hear what Donald Trump's attorney had to say. And here he is. Cut one.
Contrary to numerous false press accounts leading up to today's hearing, Mr. Comey has now finally confirmed publicly what he repeatedly told President Trump privately. That is, that the president was not under investigation as part of any probe into Russian interference. The president, Mr. Comey also admitted that there is no evidence that a single vote changed as a result of any Russian interference. Mr. Comey's testimony also makes clear that the president never sought to impede the investigation into attempted Russian interference in the 2016 election. And in fact, according to Mr. Comey, The president told Mr. Comey, quote, "It would be good to find out," close quote, in that investigation if there was, quote, "some satellite associates of his who did something wrong," close quote. And he, President Trump, did not exclude anyone from that statement. Consistent with that statement, the president never, in form or substance, directed or suggested that Mr. Comey stop investigating anyone, including the president never suggested that Mr. Comey, quote, "let Flynn go," close quote. As the president publicly stated the next day, he did say to Mr. Comey, quote, "General Flynn is a good guy. He has been through a lot," close quote. And also, quote, "asked how General Flynn is doing," close quote. Admiral Rogers testified today that the president never, quote, "directed him to do anything illegal, immoral, unethical, or inappropriate," close quote, and never, quote, "pressured him to do so," close quote. Director Coates said the same thing. The president likewise never pressured Mr. Comey. The president also never told Mr. Comey, quote, "I need loyalty. I expect loyalty," close quote. He never said it in form, and he never said it in substance. Of course, the office of the president is entitled to expect loyalty from those who are serving the administration. And from before this president took office to this day, it is overwhelmingly clear that there have been and continue to be those in government who are actively attempting to undermine this administration with selective and illegal leaks of classified information and privileged communications. Mr. Comey has now admitted that he is one of these leakers. Today, Mr. Comey admitted that he unilaterally and surreptitiously made unauthorized disclosures to the press of privileged communications with the president. The leaks of this privileged information began no later than March 2017, when friends of Mr. Comey have stated that he disclosed to them the conversations that he had with the president during their January 27th, 2017 dinner and February 14th, 2017 White House meeting. Today, Mr. Comey admitted that he leaked to friends of his purported memos of those privileged communications, one of which he testified was classified. Mr. Comey also testified that immediately after he was terminated, he authorized his friends to leak the contents of those memos to the press in order to, in Mr. Comey's words, quote, "prompt the appointment of a special counsel," close quote. Although Mr. Comey testified that he only leaked the memos in response to a tweet, the public record reveals that the New York Times was quoting from those memos the day before the referenced tweet, which belies Mr. Comey's excuse for this unauthorized disclosure of privileged information and appears to be entirely retaliatory. We will leave it to the appropriate authorities to determine whether these leaks should be investigated along with all the others that are being investigated. In sum, it is now established that the president was not being investigated for colluding with or attempting to obstruct any investigation. As the committee pointed out today, these important facts for the country to know are virtually the only facts that have not been leaked during the course of these events. As he said yesterday, the president feels completely vindicated and is eager to continue moving forward with his agenda, with the business of this country, and with this public cloud.